It's time to fire this thing up.
Welcome aboard ShipShape TV Essentials. This is your port of call for the most impactful upgrades, expert advice, and hands-on solutions from seasons past. This episode is proudly brought to you by SureHold, because anything worth doing is worth doing bright. From cleaning to protecting and perfecting, SureHold has everything you need to keep your boat shining. Don't just go boating, go showboating. Now, let's hoist anchor and set a course for another exciting episode of ShipShape TV Essentials.
If boating's your game, then you'll agree. ShipShape is the way to be. Out on the lake or on the sea, ShipShape means trouble-free. ShipShape means being neater. ShipShape makes boat work easier. ShipShape is the way to go. The ShipShape Boat Care Show.
ShipShape is being brought to you in part by the Marine Industries Association of Palm Beach County, Boating, the Lifestyle of Palm Beach County, and by Stella Marine, a crest above the rest, and by Ocean Marine, manufacturers of worldwide excellence in marine air conditioning.
Welcome to ShipShape, the boat improvement show. I'm your host, John Greviskis, and this is my partner and master boatman himself, Burt Dell.
Howdy.
We're on location today at Seminole Boat Yard in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida.
Today we're going to be taking a look at how to change our water pump and our lower unit fluid in a 150 Mercury.
Thanks to Scott Moore of Port St. Lucie, Florida. Scott wrote us asking us to cover this particular project.
If there's a project that you'd like for us to cover, write us or fax us.
Write your project suggestions to ShipShape the TV show. Attention Project Director, Post Office Box 31561, Palm Beach Gardens, Florida 33420.
And if we use your suggestion on the show, you'll receive one of these official ShipShape t-shirts. But before we can get started on today's project, we need to take this short break. Hi, I'm John Greviskis with ShipShape TV. Look at this guy and all the products he needs to maintain his boat. I guarantee you he'll be tripping over that stuff all day long. Forget that nonsense. Use what I use, the SureHold family of products, the one handle that does it all. Any one of these quality-built SureHold attachments easily locks right into place, and here's the best part. They're the best quality items money can buy. You have my word on it. Whether it's for your car, truck, RV, or boat, keep it shipshape with SureHold products. Today we're going to show you how we service the lower unit on this Mercury 150 outboard engine. This service will include the changing out of the water pump and replacing of the gear lube in the lower unit. While Burt sets up for today's project, I'm going to head on over to Inland Marine and speak with Jeff, another one of our parts experts, to find out what's available. Hi, Jeff.
Hi, John. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Not too bad. How's Burt doing these days?
Oh, pretty good.
What's on your project list for today?
Well, we're doing a servicing of a lower unit on a Mercury 150 outboard, and we're going to be replacing the water pump, and we're also going to be putting in the gear lube in the lower unit, and I was wondering if you had any ideas.
Yep, we sure do. We got a couple great ideas for you.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Fantastic. What do you have?
Well, we happen to be fortunate that nowadays we have a couple of aftermarket replacement companies, Sierra being one, that has water pump kits available.
Okay.
And we can go simply with an impeller, or they have complete service kits giving you all the gaskets and impeller and parts needed to complete your job.
Can we take a look at one of the kits?
Yeah, sure can.
Okay.
In fact, I have one right here.
Super.
For the Mercury by Sierra. And this one comes with your, of course, your impeller.
Right.
And it gives you all the gaskets and new wear plate to complete
Quite a bit
your
of
service.
gaskets. How many gaskets go on this thing?
Well, this does a complete job. Sometimes it covers more than just one model. Carries the
I see.
Merc outboards and it does the Merc stern drives.
So basically, we need to find a gasket that's going to fit our wear plate.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's sort of like making a sandwich a little bit.
Sure.
You can just
Sure.
take it apart and then restack
So
it.
this doesn't, well, I guess it does. This does fit that. Okay, great. So we would use this one, but you have different patterns available for the different wear plates.
Yeah, different model outboards and stern drives that are available.
Great.
And what's also nice is that Sierra's making these kits available also for Johnson Evinrude's, Yamahas, and several other companies that are out there.
Fantastic. What is the difference in price between the Sierra and, say, actually going to Mercury and actually going with factory?
You can generally save yourself 25 to 50% the way we have it priced here at our store.
So there's quite a price consideration when we're talking about the Sierra.
Exactly, yeah. They're real consumer-oriented for the do-it-yourselfer. They put out good quality products, meets and exceeds manufacturers' specifications.
Okay.
They give you a real nice warranty so you can use them with full confidence.
Fantastic. Well, that's what we're looking for. What could we look at in gear loops for servicing the lower
we
unit?
carry a Lube-O-Matic.
Okay.
In your case, with the high horsepower, we recommend the high viscosity.
Okay.
It's a multi-grade gear lube made for the higher horsepower, higher RPM engines.
Okay.
And it is a marine grade type of grease that will help for the environment that it's in.
Great, great.
And
Now, I see here it says to insert this in the lower plug.
exactly.
Now, that
the
doesn't
reason-
make any sense. Why would that be?
Well, the reason you fill from the lower plug is so that you don't create any type of air locks or air bubbles.
Okay.
You fill from the bottom till it comes out of the upper vent hole. You block that off. That locks the fluid inside so it doesn't drain out real fast when you pull the fluid away. They also have nice for the quart bottles. They do have a pump kit which you can attach to the quart, making life a lot easier and not draining the fluid out and getting it all over the driveway and
Right.
all over your hands.
Well, when I was speaking with Burt, we were talking about the pump kit, but he felt at this time that we wouldn't need it for this particular project. I don't know why. I'm not the mechanic, but this sure does sound like it would make a lot of sense.
Definitely makes the job go a lot easier and smoother for a small extra cost. And
Sure.
plus, this way you buy it one time, you put it in the garage, so the next year you go to service the lower unit,
I've got you.
you're all set.
I've got you.
Should service the gear lube about every 100 hours, 75 hours, or
In time frame, what are we talking about there? Most
depending on
people
how you
with
use
most
your boat, I
uses.
recommend people to change the gear lube between 75 and 100 hours, minimum once a year,
Gotcha.
if not every 6 months,
Fantastic.
as far as the time element
Fantastic.
goes.
Are there any other considerations that we can take a look at, Jeff? Or is this pretty much going to get us taken
Well,
care of today?
pretty much these are the most dominant companies out there in
Okay.
my type of business. If not, you would go back to your dealer and get original equipment.
Fantastic.
And since we're geared for the do-it-yourselfer, like I said, we sell these, with full confidence.
Fantastic. Well, Jeff, I appreciate you being on ShipShape.
Okay.
Until
hey,
next time.
Next time.
Thank you.
Stay on course. ShipShape will be right back.
Why wax when you can pro polish? This premium protective wax from Surehold can be used on virtually any non-porous surface, such as cars, boats, RVs, home equipment, and more. Pro Polish is scientifically formulated to repel water, provide a deep, high-gloss shine, and protect surfaces from the effects of UV rays, salt water, and other harsh environmental elements. Unlike traditional waxes, Pro Polish contains no talc or fillers, which means easy wipe-on, wipe-off performance that doesn't clog up microfiber towels. Enjoy a new way to protect with Surehold's Pro Polish. Surehold, clean and simple.
Y'all set up?
Sure am. How'd Jeff treat you?
Man, the guy knows his stuff.
Okay, let's get set up here.
What are we going to do first?
All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a mark on the lower unit here, one on the torque tab. This ensures when I reinstall my torque tab, I'll have them in the right position when my two marks line up.
Cool.
The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the torque tab off. You need to pull this plastic cap off to expose the bolt. You'll need a fairly long extension, 3/8 drive extension with a 1/2 inch socket. Sometimes these torque tabs are quite corroded on. You might even need to replace it when you take it off. This one, being it's a mainly used in fresh water, it's not corroded at all, actually. It's in very good shape for a 84 motor. Okay, I'm gonna pull this bolt that's located right underneath the torque tab. It's kind of hidden from view with the torque tab on. Okay, the next thing I'm gonna do is pull, there's two bolts kind of recessed up in the lower unit here, just below the bolt that I pulled out. You'll need a 5/8 deep well socket for this. I'll back these off. I'm going to leave this nut on while I back the two recessed nuts off. Just kind of hold the lower unit up in place, keep it from sliding off while you're trying to work with these nuts that are kind of recessed in the lower unit here. Just makes it a little easier and try to fight the lower unit and the little nuts at the same time. Okay, we're ready to drop it down. All right, I got a block to lean the lower unit on. Now what I'm going to do is back these bolts out of the water pump housing itself. We're ready to pull the housing, slide it completely off the shaft. See if we can't get it to slide up for us. All right, in this case, the impeller is just coming right with the housing itself. All right, this is what your impeller looks like. There's really no, in this one here, there's no grooves or anything inside the housing itself. Okay, we'll pull the gasket and wear plate out. Get it cleaned up here and get ready to reinstall our new parts. I'm going to take my new parts, match them up to my the old parts, make sure I have the right application here. You'll get several different style of gaskets in your kit itself. You just kind of like got to play with them and match them up to what you take out. It's not very hard. Here, let's put our impeller on the shaft itself. Line it up on your keyway. Slide her on in. Just to give it some lubrication, what I'm going to do is take a little petroleum jelly here for initial start. Put a light film on the inside of the cup itself here. Slide her down on your shaft. You want to take and press down on it. Give the shaft a spin. Lets the impeller slide right up into the cup there. And we're ready to drop our bolts, our bolt and nuts back in, and we're almost there. I'm putting this O-ring on. When I took this lower unit apart, it didn't have it on the shaft itself. For what reason, I don't know, but it's important to have one because the water can seep between the shaft and the housing itself. Okay, I'm going to put a little grease on the shaft here and on the shift shaft just to keep things lubricated. We're going to put our new tube in here. Okay, we have to turn the flywheel here just to get the spline to line back up. All right, John, shove it up in there.
Okay. There we go. It's in.
We're just ready to tighten up all our nuts and bolts on the lower unit, draw it back up to the case itself. I'm going to reinstall the torque tab now. Start the bolt. Get it snugged up here a little bit. Line my marks up that I previously marked there with a pencil. All right, we're going to change the fluid. I'm going to pull the bottom drain plug out and leave the top one in. This will kind of create a vacuum and hold the fluid up in there until I break the seal on this one here, and then it'll drain out. You'll get some seeping out, but not very much until you break this seal here. You'll notice on your drain plug that you have there's a magnet on the end of it, and you'll see some little shavings of metal. That's normal, long as you don't have any large chunks of metal. You'll see it looks a little frosty area on the end of it. You want to catch your oil in a drain pan, that way you can take it to a recycling center and dispose of it properly. All right, let's put our fluid back in. What you want to do is you want to fill from the bottom. What this does is it forces all the air out the top. You'll just squeeze. And what you're waiting for is you're waiting for the oil to come out the top hole here. Okay, here it is. It's coming out the top. Let's put our plug in. Get it started here. There we go. All right, I'm gonna put the bottom plug in now. This is a once-a-year service, and now our boat is ready for another boating season.
Don't float away. ShipShape will be right back.
The SureHold Soft Brush. Perfect for use on boats, cars and trucks, decks and patios, and even windows. Specially designed split-end bristles hold more soap and water for effortless and effective cleaning. Built-in safety bumper protects surrounding surfaces from accidental damage. The included 48-inch threaded wooded handle is sturdy, lightweight, and strong. Proudly made in the USA, the SureHold Marine Mate Soft Brush is the worldwide standard in deck brushes. SureHold. Clean and simple.
I'm here at Stella Marine at Sauerville Harbor in Palm Beach Gardens, and with me is Bob Stella, the owner of Stella Marine. Bob, welcome to ShipShape.
Hey, nice to be on the program, John.
Today we're going to take an in-depth look at the Pursuit 2870. Bob, what do we have here?
Well, this is the new 2870 walk-around by Pursuit. It's brand new for '96. It's got a huge walk-around, makes it very accessible. It's got live bait wells, fish boxes, tackle centers. Rigging station is tremendous for fishing.
This is quite a station.
Yeah, she carries 235 gallons of fuel. She gets a great cruising speed, around 35 miles an hour. You probably got an average of 12 to 14 hours, depending how you run it. And she'll burn around 16 to 18 gallons an hour at cruising. She also has a fuel management system, which is a great feature. That way you're, you're able to control your speed and also your fuel, which will give you the utmost performance and economy. It's got a tilt-away helm, which makes it real easy to work on your gauges or to put electronics on the boat.
Nice feature.
And flush mounting electronics is really simple on this boat.
What kind of engines are you talking about on this?
These are the new Saltwater Series 2 1/4 Yamahas. Saltwater Series 2. There's brand new paint job this year, stainless steel shafts. It has a quiet flush, so you don't have to start the engines to flush them out. Hydraulic steering. All the bait wells and all the fish boxes drain overboard.
Wow.
Now what that means is now you're inside the boat and you get a bloody fish like a dolphin.
Sure.
And the fish is squirting blood out everywhere. You know, in the fish box, it's going right outside. You're not walking on the blood.
One nice thing about this boat is the non-skid deck.
That's a trademark with Pursuit, the herringbone non-skid.
Right.
It's great. It's great, especially, you know how it is if you get fish guts on the ground and
Talking about
blood
dolphin,
and
I sure
slime,
know
and
that.
before you know it, you're on the floor. No, this works great.
Well, this is one nice vessel. The top, is this standard with this particular model, or is this an upgrade?
It's an option, but most of your customers will go with the hard top. The big feature on the boat, of course, is the integrated transom.
Sure.
Transom door, very accessible to get in and out of the boat. The integrated transom gives you the capability of performing a lot better than a bracket in the back of the boat. Backing down on a fish. You know, this, as you can see, has a modified V hull. Trim tabs are recessed. She really is a 30.5 foot boat overall length. So unlike a lot of manufacturers today who say their boat's a 26-foot boat and actually is a 24 or 25, this is actually, it's a 28 walk around, but it's actually over 30 feet long.
Nice, real nice. Bob, what are we talking about price-wise?
Base price on a boat like this is around $75,000, $78,000. With the options loaded up, it's probably around $85,000 to $90,000.
I got you. Well, again, I thank you for being on Ship Shape.
Okay, thank you for having us.
Until next time.
Okay,
See ya.
thank you.
Well, I hope you enjoyed the show.
Don't be afraid to ride us.
Your comments are always welcome. And a special thanks to our friends here at Seminole Boat Yard.
Thanks, guys.
See you next week.
If boating's your game, then you'll agree. Ship shape is the way to be. Out on the lake or on the sea, ship shape means trouble-free. Ship shape means being neater. Ship shape makes boat work easier. Ship shape is the